Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the BuzzCast. I'm your host, loldbz, here with Ghoulston by my side. How are you?
4K reality.
Have we entered the future, or is it just a lie?
Welcome to the new age.
This week on the BuzzCast, we're going to be talking about a couple new announcements we saw this week, namely for Pokemon, and big ones for Nintendo, Apple, and Sony, and their new release for their console updated version. And a couple of other little video game tidbits that kind of snuck in throughout the last week and this week. And we're going to be kicking this episode off with what we've been doing lately, or what we've done recently. And in this case, myself and Ghoulston, we actually met up for his birthday and had a little adventure. So we're going to talk about that. And that's going to kick it off this week.
Yeah, it was a little weird, but it was nice.
It's always weird at first. Yeah.
Nice meeting you and Pillbug.
Yeah. So it was last weekend, right? I can't even remember the days.
Not last. No, not last weekend. Because last weekend we had Smeow.
Oh yeah. The one before that. Then it's about 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah. You almost set your house on fire.
Oh my god, that was awful. We did.
I guess I should explain what I mean by that. So, at one point in the night, I was kind of just like looking at your big old floppy binder of video games, and we hear Pillbug just like shouting, "Come down here!" Like we were like, I guess she really wants us to go down there to see what's going on. And I assume that you knew that there was a cake being prepared.
Yeah, no, I was in the know. Yeah,
but I don't think either of us realized the state of the cake, and wherein it was well, there was a lot of candles. There was about 10 candles in there.
There was exactly 27.
I don't think there was exactly 27 candles.
Oh, there was. That's what we did.
Are you serious?
Yes, that's why it was so bad.
Oh, okay, yeah. There was a lot of fire. And the candles were sparking, and it was probably the fastest happy birthday song and dance I've ever seen. Exactly 27 candles, and I tried to blow them out, and they all went out, and I was like, all right, cool, I got my wish. and then the candles lit up again, and we were like, uh-oh. I blew them out again, and they lit back up again. They just wouldn't stop, and the fire looked like it was getting bigger, and the candles started sparking more and more, and we were just starting to get a little worried. And you grabbed the box for the candles, and it was like magic relighting candles.
Yeah, I can't even believe those things exist. It's just like, why would that even exist? It's like, oh, I want to. Do I have the box? Like, it said something like when oh yeah, it's like blow it out. It'll relight again and again and again, and just like, it sounds like the stupidest idea. But then there was a warning: do not use more than 10 candles per cake. So that's probably what kind of set it over the top. So basically, they were so close to each other, when they reignited, they just kind of made a big flame. So we were I was blowing out these candles over and over again until I was getting dizzy, and then we had to just throw them in the sink and hope they didn't reignite again.
No, see, that's the thing about it. We needed to take them out of the cake in order to throw it in the sink and put water on them, but we didn't know that they were magic relighting candles. So I guess she put them kind of deeper into the cake. So to reach in was an initial risk of burning your hand a little bit. It's the flames were just out of control and sparking everywhere. There was a rubber bird on top too.
Yeah, the rubber bird. So I had it was a quail, I think. I think it must have just been I don't know. It was called a cake design at the store, like a cake decoration, but I think it was just a toy. It was just a dead. It was a model of a dead quail, or pheasant or something. And and it turned out to be a magnet as well, which is cool. And then we just surrounded that with candles, so it kind of looked like some kind of cool ritual cake. But
I think my favorite aftermath of all that was just later, it was literally an hour later or something. I was just in your kitchen, and you were there too, and you're like, hey. You held out your hand, had to burn your hand. Burn hand.
Yeah, burn hand.
I was you got me.
That's what I was going for, really. Just want to make sure you got it. So
in
case no one knew that's my Tango. My profile has always been for years Birmingham, Pennsylvania, despite only having just moved to Pennsylvania. So
the Keystone State.
Yeah, not the Birmingham State. But yeah, it was a delicious cake. I liked it.
A delicious cake, and we also did some other festive things. Kind of had a night out on the town. Drove around. Before
that, we set up my cool little setup with a TV and watched some shitty streams on Amazon.com. In case you didn't know, you can go to Amazon Prime Video and watch really shitty videos. Bad streams are on there. I thought this guy was sponsored or something, but we were watching this guy called The Camper, and he was playing Street Fighter pretty terribly, and his commentary was also really bad. He had some interesting setup, though, where he was able to like zoom in on himself, superimposed over the video. I'm not sure exactly what he did to do that. But other than that, it was pretty terrible. So if he can do it, we can do it. And that might be another avenue for us to explore.
Getting videos uploaded to Amazon Prime?
Yeah. It might. I mean, it worked on us. We thought it was a big deal. If you search
Street Fighter, because we were looking for the Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme in it. But if you search the Street Fighter on Amazon Prime, you get this guy whose name is The Camper. It's just like him losing in ranked matches. And just like continue like, oh, look, we got another Rage Quitter, guys. And just like his connection is like really shitty, and it's his fault. He doesn't even like realize it.
Yeah, because you can see his like stream artifacting at that time.
And then we like started like trying to like investigate like how deep this rabbit hole goes. We found like a video of a kid explaining to you how to copy Minecraft from one computer to another, and it was like 10 minutes of a webcam pointed at a monitor, showing a kid putting files onto a USB drive.
He did have a 3D desktop though.
Taking them off of the USB drive. That was the entire video. I don't care if he had a 3D.
Oh, and also to answer your question about how I can rate them, Amazon actually emails you to rate the videos that you watch. So
yeah, because he had like 5-star ratings, didn't he?
No, he had no ratings. I wasn't giving 1-star, but I lost interest. I had to log in and everything. It's a lot of work. We also watched who was streaming that Shut Up and Jam Gaiden?
Oh, Lunaticker. Lunaticker had his Black Banana Chronicles on the weekend of August 27th. He streamed for 24 hours, doing a bunch of out there indie games, I guess you could call it. I don't want to use anybody's unofficial titles here. But he called it the Black Banana Chronicles, and he streamed Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. Interesting game. Lunaticker's an entertaining guy. He did a good job of that stream. 24 whole hours.
Put him on the big screen.
Yeah. He didn't know it, but he was on a living room TV set with 3 Video Shorts members watching it comfortably.
Very comfy.
Good times.
And then later we had to figure out what we were going to do about eating and stuff, so we went out on the town. And where did we go first?
We went to the mall first. Because we didn't want to... the mall was closing soon.
The mall sucked, more or less. It was all right. I mean, we found some eats, some like little snacks and stuff here and there.
We found a chocolate store.
You had your standard shit.
You looked at Funko Pops for like 5 minutes in disgust.
Oh, yeah. That was awful.
You bought
the Street Fighter movie?
I bought the Street Fighter movie. You bought a bunch of crappy Wii games.
Oh, that was fun. The Wii game thing was fun. I bought you a white chocolate thing.
Yeah, it was tasty.
So tell me, like, do you truly have the need to buy something every time you enter a store, like for real?
I feel like if I just stand there and just like browse it forever, I feel bad, like that I'm just like wasting their time, and I feel like I should buy something. It was like a little thing. Like that's the only reason why I even got that white chocolate, because we just like spent like
that's what I thought.
5 minutes in that chocolate store. And this like nice old woman is like offering us like free like samples and stuff, and she's like waiting for us to buy something. And I was like, oh jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't have guilt in that respect, but
yeah, so
I tried really hard to buy something. I just couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to do anything. I was like, oh, this is okay, but I don't really want to eat it. But yeah, right before we were about to leave, we decided like we have to go to GameStop.
Yeah.
And Fortunately, they didn't disappoint. We did have a little story to tell. But I browsed all their games for Wii, which I always do pretty much every time I go in there. It used to be GameCube too, but they don't have those. And I looked for all the cheap games I didn't have that were extremely cheap. So pretty much you're talking like $1, $2. And I ended up getting like 5 crappy games that I still haven't touched since. And a Castlevania game.
Castlevania game, which is a good follow-up because you just beat the other Castlevania game recently.
Yeah, because I was playing that game, Order of Ecclesia is why I was kind of inspired to try out this one. The one I got was Portrait of Ruin, and I'll be streaming that someday. Seems like a fun game. A lot of people will say it's good, where everyone else says Order of Ecclesia is bad. So
Rudy would definitely recommend it. He's been playing that game forever on the. Because I caught the end of Order of Ecclesia. You were like talking about how like why would someone want to do a level 1 run of what's the guy's name? Aldoran, whatever the hell his name is, the unlockable character in Order of Ecclesia.
Oh, Albus.
Albus, and I know Rudy does level 1 run of Portrait of Ruins, like extra thing you can unlock. He like does it all the time. I think he's done it. I think he beat Defula. I'm pretty sure he did.
Defula.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Good times, though. It's I highly recommend it if you enjoyed Order of Ecclesia.
Yeah. The weird thing is, though, I did have to go through a bit of a trial at the counter with it because the cashier, who's no doubt younger than me, was carding me for age 17 and older. And there's no other game that would have been triggering that other than Castlevania, which I guess has some blood or something. So that was interesting. But then we left to get food, right? Yeah, I think at that I asked her like, "Hey, what do you recommend in the area to eat after like 10 o'clock or something?" Because a lot of the places close around here pretty early.
Yeah.
They recommended us a steakhouse nearby, so we went there and hopefully found some good food. And I think we did. I think it was good.
Yeah, we definitely ate well. I got to see firsthand how much like food you can pack away in like 5 minutes. I felt like I was being disrespectful because I couldn't like eat all the food that I got. It was, like I just couldn't finish all of it. It was like a lot of food, but meanwhile, like you're like licking the plate clean and yelling at the waitress for more food.
Well, I mean, we didn't have to actually ask for more food because he just kept giving us bread. I don't know. Like he wouldn't not give us things. But they did forget your salad. We had to remind him of that one. But yeah, no, I had like a steak that was like twice the size of everyone else's, and I just ate it. I don't know. I was starving that night. I wasn't starving, but I guess I couldn't stop eating. And then at the end, this guy gave us bread. He's like, "I know you like bread. I see you like bread." So he gave us bread to take home. And like, no one ever does that. And then he's like, "We want another one?" I'm like, "Man, we didn't even want this one. We'll take it."
That bread was good.
It was good bread, though. We should have taken the other one. Actually, I kind of regretted not taking up that offer. But oh well. And then I think that was pretty much it. After
I got cards.
Oh yeah, when did we do that?
That was before steak.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. So before, well, I mean, I forgot the sequence. So before steak, though, we went to downtown to a local gamer shop and explored its wares, looking desperately for anything at all. That was good, and it was very hard to find. I couldn't find any Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie packs. I couldn't find any Sega Saturn games worth a damn. They had Sega Saturn games, but nothing really worth anything. And of course, most of these places are going to have really overpriced things, or you could probably buy them in other places. Unless it's like freshly open and getting new stock regularly, you're not going to be getting really nice finds or anything. So we didn't really find anything. But as you are obligated to do, you bought something.
I actually just wanted more cards because I actually I got some new cards recently for Magic the Gathering, and I figured, okay, why not? They're selling them here. Why not? I was gonna buy one pack, and it was like, oh, we're having a special 3 for $10 sale, and I was like, yeah, all right, just load me up. And then I bought the 3 packs of Magic the Gathering booster packs, and the guy was like, do you mind if could you open them here? Could you open them now? And I was like, what? Right on the spot. Okay, I'll open one.
That's not how he said it. It's like I don't want to ask you or something like that. It was very like He's trying to be very timid about it. And he's like, I was like, I'm not going to ask you to do it, but I would really like if you opened it here or something. So you opened one for him.
Yeah, I opened one.
Wait, no, you didn't.
Yeah, no, I opened it myself, but then I could see like the look in his eyes that he really wanted to see these cards, and I feel like I don't really know the cards very well, so like I feel like I would have just been like slowly shuffling through them, like reading like one at a time, and I figure, okay, you know what, let me just hand them to this guy, and you know, you can look at them and admire them or whatever. He takes the cards and goes, okay, I'm sorry, man. You didn't.
No, he does it. He counted.
Rares. Sorry, man.
He knew exactly it was card number 8 that would have been your rare, so he started counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, so you didn't get. Okay, sorry. I was like, what? What the hell just happened? I was like, I was just like being nice to them at the time, and I was like, oh, you know, darn, I guess. But like, as soon as we left, I like had to make sure we were out of earshot. I was like, the fuck was that? Why did he like fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Oh shit, sorry, dude. I was like, he didn't even look at any of the cards. I felt
kind of used and abused it.
I don't know. It made me feel really bad. I was like, I'm really glad I didn't let him open the other two.
When you think about it, like getting a card is half of its opening, so he kind of stole half of it, half your purchase.
Yeah, basically. It's very uncomfortable.
Used cards.
I probably won't go there ever again. Maybe.
There's not really much reason to. I mean,
I'll have to go at different hours.
As all game shops do, they had like a Smash scene or something there.
Oh, a little back room for people to hang out and play.
Yeah, so there was like a lot of like a little like mini tourney scene thing. Nothing big or anything. But that's probably the only thing to return for. But even then, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a little weird to like show up, because I guess like the initial contact is the weirdest part. Is like, hey, can I play? But like after that, you know, once you actually know the people, I guess it's not so bad. I don't know. Might be worth going back someday. But aside from that, I had a very good evening, and thank you to both you and Philbug for being such amazing hosts for my weekend stay.
No, no problem. Anytime. And probably do something again sometime in the future.
Sure.
But yeah, that pretty much wrapped up the night. Then we had, Yu-Gi-Oh! The next morning. Sunday, Yu-Gi-Oh! And then
I got to witness your rituals firsthand. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. The Sunday Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very set in stone in the process. It's always bacon, always eggs, always Yu-Gi-Oh! There's no exceptions. Well, except on late days.
I was gonna say, like, what if you like start late? Do you still do bacon eggs?
No. If I've already eaten in the day, like for work and stuff, we'll just
okay. If it's the first meal,
yeah, exactly.
It's still a good setup, though.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Good eats. Good experiences, and hopefully we'll have more experiences in the future. But speaking of future experiences, the experience that is Pokemon Sun and Moon is getting a little more interesting, a little more crazy every time we get new news about it. There's been some, as you would call it, weird shit that has been announced, such as these some new Pokemon that are kind of weird, the Aether Foundation, I think it's called, and something called Ultra Beasts.
Well, I tried to understand and dissect it as much as I could. So the weird shit, first off, is type null. When I was reading that, I was like, okay, so that's his type is null. So now there's a new type called null.
That's the
same
thing I did. I looked away for a second, and I looked back at the screen, and it showed him, and I was like, oh, cool, new type.
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool, type null, all right, I'll get behind this. And then it just went on, like, okay, what the hell was that Pokemon?
What was his name? Yeah,
So then I go back, and yeah, that's his name. His name's type null, which is really weird. A lot, like most layman people don't even know what null means, and it just seems really weird to name it that. But it's also a really weird Pokemon if you look at it. It's just kind of like a jumble of different things. It's just got pieces. And if you look at it closer, it's also it's got a helmet on, like sealing it. It's almost like restricting it in some way.
It makes me think of Mewtwo in the show. How that was like, I realized that you don't need to show to know that Mewtwo was a lab experiment created based on Mew. But what Type Null makes me think of is like the failed attempts before. Like they probably made like 15 Mewtwo's that just didn't work out, and like this guy's like got his helmet to control him, but it's like, oh, this one didn't work out. Just send him to Hawaii, whatever. Just throw this out.
That could be it. Maybe he's like maybe there is like a string of Mewtwo rejects or something.
Mew Zero.
And that's one of them. It's Type Null.
My bad.
And then there's going to be Null 2.
I'm not calling him that. I'm calling him Null. Throw out the type part.
It's really jarring for the experience. I don't know. But people are saying it's a... I'm not really into the whole lore of this thing, but they're saying it's considered a chimera or something. It's multiple critters like mixed into one. They don't have to actually be they don't have to be lion, goat, and snake. They can be jumbles of anything else. And in this case, it seems to be parts of Pokemon. So I wonder, like, what type would it even be considered then if it's got all those? I see, like, whenever you look at it, it kind of looks like it's got dark in it, some water, maybe some normal. I don't know.
I think
grass or insect feet.
I think because of all the different parts that makes it up, I think it just all like kind of negates itself to normal.
Maybe normal dark, yeah. And then the stranger thing, which I think opens up a really big door, is the Ultra Beast thing. So you have UB Ultra Beast -01 was the jellyfish one revealed. But that suggests that there's a lot of different... I think they suggested in the trailer there's going to be a lot of different Ultra Beasts, which don't seem to be Pokemon by any stretch.
No, not a Pokemon.
So the thing is, this is like the first time you're actually going to have non-Pokemon encounters where you're, supposedly going to be fighting Pokemon against these things, whereas like, all the other encounters is in Pokemon versus Pokemon, strictly, throughout the entire series.
You could always catch whatever you're fighting.
Yeah, unless it's so already owned. So this is really different. This is kind of more, standard RPG, and I think it could be cool. I think it kind of can open up the door for more challenging encounters and stuff like that. So it could be neat, but it's too early to tell if it's going to work out.
I'm into the idea of just fighting these random hell beasts that are around the islands. It's something new. It's like It's a good plot thing to add in, because there's a lot of things that are in Pokemon Sun and Moon that we've heard about that are all applicable to, like, I guess, a competitive element. Type Null is something you use in competitive. Z-Moves or something you can use competitive. This thing is just purely story-based, as well as the other characters that we were introduced with this latest trailer. But I like it. The story is always not for the story, but the story experience of Pokemon, just like, getting to the end, whatever. That's what I play Pokemon for. I don't play it to be like beating my friends. Never good enough.
Yeah, I kind of dropped X and Y immediately after reading it, unfortunately. I don't know, I just couldn't get behind it too much. But hopefully this one will hold my attention for a little longer. Although, I mean, I guess a week or so is a lot of time. But they had also revealed, which I suspected there'd be an evolution for the new Rattata. And there's, of course, the Raticate, the darker one, the bigger, darker one. Alolan Raticate. It's I don't know if you call it like fatter, maybe a little huskier.
It looks like someone like a bee stung its cheeks and it just swole up.
I think they're swollen to hold food. I don't think it's like fat or anything. I don't think the whole species can like be overweight or whatever. But it's definitely a bulkier one. It kind of looks neat. So I'm interested in that one. I like it a lot more than that other the mongoose one. I actually don't like that one at all. I don't know.
The Jangmo-O?
Oh no, the
Gumshoe
mongoose. Yeah.
I don't even know what Jangmo is. I forgot.
Jangmo-O O is a I don't know. It looks like a little lizard thing. It kind of looks cool. But I just don't know why they had to hyphenate the name. I don't like needless hyphenation.
These names have been pretty weird. There's Togedemaru. I don't know why that one sticks in my head so well.
Because it's the Japanese name. But Jangmo-O is not the Japanese name. They just made it that way. I don't know why. It has no reason to it. Because I don't know if it. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter because it's not the hyphenate, the final version of it. So maybe like the evolutions will, kind of make sense of the name. But usually I don't like hyphenated names unless you're like just talking about like throwaway sci-fi characters or something like that.
Speaking of throwaway characters, they added a enforcer to Team Skull. So I kind of like that there's a bad guy rival. Not necessarily like a Gary that's just like your friendly rival, but this guy's just like, he literally works for, Satan's squad, and it's just like a bad guy that wants to beat you up whenever he sees you. Gladion is his name. So I kind of like that idea. I'm not sure if other Pokemon games did that or not. Regardless, I just like the idea of having more potential enemies that your rival. I just like having lots of rivals. Those are fun in games like this.
Yeah, I think it adds a lot of variety to the game. I prefer having lots of rivals because that just increases that opportunity for when you're running around and you're low on health and your Pokemon need to be healed, and then you're like right outside of the Pokemon Center, and then this Pokemon comes up and ruins your day. Yeah, I mean, I hate those things, but I like them too because it makes the game more memorable. You got a lot more emotions going through the game, so I think
adds
that's
a little
fun.
Tension.
Yeah, you got to have that. You got to have a little bit of good and evil in every game. And speaking of good and evil, there's a mix of day and night in these games, Pokemon Sun and Moon. And I if I understand it correctly, they kind of invert the day and night cycles for the respective games.
Yes.
So when you're playing Sun and Moon, I think everything's normal, right?
If you're playing Sun, then the time is normal. But if you're playing Moon, then everything is offset by 12 hours. So I guess the game kind of has like a natural, it uses the 3DS clock to tell you what time it is of the day. Kind of like how you're playing Smash 4 to Smashville will be nighttime or daytime based on what time it is in the real world. But I assume that with Sun and Moon, it just means that if it's noon for you, but you're playing Moon, it's going to be midnight in the game. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so and considering I'll probably be playing mostly in the evenings, that'll be daytime all the time. So because I'm getting Moon for what it's worth, I usually get the bluer version.
Yeah, Moon's definitely
that's how
bluer.
I started. Yeah, no doubt.
There's only one other thing I can think of as far as interesting Pokemon news. I don't know how interesting it is, but Professor Oak got a tan.
Yeah, and then became his own cousin.
Yeah, he's looking slick. Got a mullet.
That was in the trailer for all of like 2 seconds.
Yeah, there's an Alolan Professor Oak in this game.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. All the Raticates kind of like went into his. Whenever they migrated from the Mongoose Pokemon into his lab, and he had to go outside more. He got a tan.
All the rats were in his house. So he just couldn't sleep in his house anymore.
Yeah, so he had to go outside.
I feel like this completes the cycle or it doesn't really complete the cycle. It just kind of like lends itself to what they're doing with Sun and Moon, where it's really leaning back on the old days. Have these new versions of the original Pokemon. So what better way to capitalize on that than be like, hey, remember this guy? Well, it's not that guy, but it looks like that guy. Just like that looks like Rattata, but it's not Rattata. It's a Alolan Rattata. So it's just more of that. Like, remember this? It's like that.
That makes sense. It's like an alternate. It's like Majora's Mask, really, if you think about it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they the same. It's very similar, same assets, but it's a different game. And I think is the Alola version like the version of these new Pokemon for regions, and maybe going forward, new games having their own. Is that going to be overriding the whole Mega thing? I mean, they haven't really been talking about Mega evolutions that much. I guess there is that one.
Mentioned it, did they?
I guess it is. Is that considered a Mega thing? No. I think they're being replaced by the Z things. I don't know. Maybe they'll work alongside, but I don't know if they're just kind of moving forward with the Z.
I think it's a good time to get a 3DS, and Nintendo thinks so too. If it's latest 3DS Direct. I've
so
heard
what happened?
Reactions to that.
Yeah, you weren't around when it went down, but I was lucky enough to be up and not at work to watch it, and it was not. It didn't blow me away, and it really could have. It was so close.
I caught the aftermath of it.
I honestly can't remember much of anything. The only thing that I remember is that they released the news about a Super Mario Maker 3DS version, and I've been waiting for this for a while because I wanted to be able to make levels on the go and stuff. But then they said that you can't share your levels, making the release of the game not only meaningless, but actually detracting from what could have been. So, like, if they hadn't announced it, then there was still hope. But now there's no hope. It's going to be bad, and basically, in my eyes, never going to happen.
You can share it just as long as they're in the same room as you.
Yeah, but the worst of it is you can't even transport it to your Wii U at this point, as far as we know. So, unless that happens, I'm definitely not getting it. But I think it's the perfect game for handheld. I like it on the Wii U. I think on handheld,
the one thing they announced for the 3DS version, that they can do cooperative level making, I think that's really cool.
Potentially cool, but do you really need to cooperate on level making?
Fun. Probably not.
Probably, like, not if you're going to actually make a decent level. I can see, like, kids just fucking around or just fucking around for fun, but you're not going to, like, collaborating on a level, like, in real time is not going to really amount to anything good, I don't think. Because you're going to have two minds trying to make a cohesive level just at the same time. It's just not going to work.
It's just an interesting idea. I think it's neat that they allowed that, but yeah, you're right. There's a lot of features are stripped from it. There's no mystery mushroom costumes, so all those are out. They said a lot of levels won't even work in the 3DS version. I assume anything that uses mystery mushrooms or mega mushrooms from the 30th anniversary amiibo, any of those levels will just flat out not work in the 3DS version. So that's kind of crappy, but maybe they can patch it or something. Maybe.
I'm not hopeful for that, unfortunately.
No.
They did show a cool... I don't know if I'm happy about it either. They're re-releasing Yarn Yoshi on the 3DS with basically more stuff. So that was kind of... Yeah, I still haven't even beat their first game, so I'm kind of annoyed by that. But, oh well. I still have it. I gotta beat it, though.
But there's a new character returning from Yoshi's story. Poochie.
Well, he was already there, actually.
Was he? Whatever.
Yeah, but he has babies.
He has babies, and you can buy a wool yarn amiibo of him, and he just has the dumbest smile on his face, and it's adorable. So, I mean, I like it. As someone that hasn't played Yarn Yoshi yet, I might look into that whenever I get a 3DS. It's basically Nintendo saying the Wii U didn't work out so hot. Let's just put our best games onto the 3DS.
But that's not what they're doing. They're specifically trying to not compete with the Mario Maker version, or the Wii U version of Mario Maker by castrating it for 3DS. Which, and I don't understand that, because then they take Yarn Yoshi and be like, all right, well, let's make it just better and put it on here. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Why one, not the other? I guess because Mario Maker is so much more successful, and so they're I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I really hope they change their mind on that.
I agree on that one.
Speaking of little amiibos, they also showed some very important things for later. These Zelda amiibos. And they're going to play a part in Breath of the Wild, so I have to buy them, even though I don't like amiibos.
Well, you have the 30th anniversary Mario, right? So
yes,
you could get the 30th anniversary Zelda one, and at least they'll go together. There's that.
There's another one too. There's two more, I think.
There's one for Toon Link, one for Tetra in Wind Waker.
Damn it!
And I think there's one more that's just like another Zelda, or it's just another Link, I guess. I'm not exactly sure.
There's an Ocarina of Time one, yeah.
I think maybe the Toon Link one will function similar to the... I'm hoping the Smash 4 Toon Link and that Toon Link are like the same thing.
First, I gotta find out if they all do individualized things or if they jointly have the same ability in the game.
Oh, right.
That way I can just buy one, because I don't want to get all of them and then find out, oh, well, they do the same damn thing. Like, oh, they're all links. I think they will do individual neat things. So
They all
I'll probably
make
have to get them.
a wolf link that walks alongside you.
That's pretty cool. But it's weird that it's... I don't know. It's... I don't know. That would be cool if there was like... If all the wolves just look like that, you know, and then there was like all these like other animals and stuff that you could just tame and just happen to be one. I think that would be cooler than having this weird...
Amiibo stuff.
a wolf version of Link under Link's control. It's kind of weird.
Hi, Wolf Me.
From another dimension. Yeah. Let's have an adventure.
I think the 3DS Direct was mostly a letdown for a lot of people. But the one thing that I really liked watching it was the new Pikmin game for 3DS, which is... It looked like Pikmin 2D and more oriented on, like, I guess, 2D puzzles. So, I guess some people have been comparing it to March of the Minis, the Mario versus Donkey Kong series, where you kind of just have like these little guys walking around and you have to solve puzzles so that all your little mini Marios can get through. I guess it's kind of like that, or like Lemmings, I suppose. But it, you know, I never felt interested in the Pikmin series, and that was the first time I actually like felt curious about it. Like, oh, cool, you know, look at the puzzle solving, and it's all like right there. You know, proof of concept worked very well in that trailer for me.
Yeah, I don't share the same thing. I never was interested in Pikmin. That one didn't turn me over either. So, but it could be cool. I don't know. I just wasn't really turned on by it, I guess. I think a lot of people actually were turned off by it because it's so non-traditional Pikmin.
Yeah, I actually saw a petition to get it canceled. Which, you know,
just cancel it, not change it 3D. Just cancel it entirely.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
I mean,
people.
I guess the Pikmin. That's no. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, the Pikmin community might be. I don't know what I want to call them that. It sounds kind of weird. Might be like giving that same feeling that Metroid fans get from the Federation Force to a lesser extent, but it's, you know, it's taking the game and then making it very different.
Yeah, but it's still the game. It's not like they like said to Samus, "Go take the day off. We'll have 4 Marines wander around together, and that'll be the next Metroid game." It's still Pikmin. It's just shifted into a new dimension. An old dimension.
Yeah. It's... I mean, maybe... I mean, when I look at the 3D one, I don't know if I'm intimidated or just like don't want to deal with it, because there's just so much you have to do in a 3D space, and it's kind of looks a little daunting. Maybe the 2D will tune it down a little bit, make it more accessible to people. Even though I'm sure it's an easy game, I think generally just looking at it doesn't make it seem like something you want to try to triumph over. If
you're looking for accessible, then I have a game that's coming down the pipeline for you.
Oh. What does it run on?
Apple device.
Oh, like an iPhone or iPad?
An iPhone or iPad. So Apple had its conference recently.
No, I think it was a keynote,
Apple Day, all kinds of things they call it. They unveiled their new iPhone, which, by the way, is dumb. We can talk about that later if you want. But,
I mean, I've never had an iPhone, and I don't think I ever will. But
no. But as a surprise, they're having their little keynote conference day when all of a sudden Shigeru Miyamoto himself appears on stage, and you're thinking, what is this guy? Who's this old Japanese man? I'm here to watch about my iPhone. And he starts talking about this new wonderful app called Super Mario Run. A Mario game designed specifically for iPhones. For mobile gaming. Android was not mentioned at all because it was an Apple keynote, but Android is apparently in the works for at some point to be released.
Yeah, the way they jumped it up was like, oh, it's just going to be Apple, because it's coming first to Apple. It's a timed exclusive. Let's just call it that. But it's a big deal because people have been talking about this for a very long time. A lot of naysayers will just say, why doesn't Nintendo go third party? That's not what they're doing. But they are going mobile, which has unfortunately been the direction our society is going to be going with playing games for the most part. They have some pretty scary statistics of how many people play mobile games. So it makes sense for Nintendo to do this from a business aspect. What I did like is that, okay, so they simplified the game. Basically, you just press a button to jump in time.
Play with one hand.
Yeah, you can hold anything in your other hand, like a hamburger, as Miyamoto said. Or, I guess he knows his audience that day. And you can alternatively, I mean, not alternatively, but you can tap it to do short jumps or hold to do long jumps. But that's pretty much it. And he'll always run. Like, it's a side-scrolling game, but he's always running. He's always moving. And if you hit a wall, you can see him kind of hurtle over it. He doesn't just die. That would be hilarious, though, if they made a hard game like that. But they didn't. It's an easy game, itty bitty baby game. And what's really kind of cool for Nintendo to do, which is very different from a lot of the app games, is that they're making you buy the game, and then you don't have to pay anything else again. So there's no like little microtransactions.
No, so I think there will be, because you can earn coins to make levels. I believe it is.
No, like it's something about building your kingdom. They didn't really go into detail. But no, they said explicitly, they said you don't have to, buy more to play more or anything.
There's gonna be a money angle. I know it.
No, you're buying it. I mean, most of the games that make you buy to play are free, and then you buy things later on. This one's buy up front, so that is their angle. I think it's a noble one. At least it's not hiding behind anything. It might not be the best business choice for the model they're going after, but I think it's more honest, and I like that.
Yeah. And, from the gameplay I saw of it, it was kind of cool, because it didn't seem like... It carried over Mario very well into a endless runner game ideal, where, you have to make your taps for your jumps at the right time, because tapping at a different time can affect what Mario does. They have these little pads that Mario runs over that changes what actions he will do when you tap. I believe there's wall jumping and, incentives to jump on top of enemies in order to find different paths and stuff like that.
Now, can you actually die, though, in the game? I don't think you can. From what I can tell, I think he hurdles over Goombas if you almost encounter them. So I think the only risk you have is not getting that many coins. I don't think you can actually lose.
I think it harms your score. And that was another feature. They talk about how you can share your play data with friends in order to have them, send it back and forth, see who can get the best score on a certain level. I like that idea too.
Yeah, that's cool. And they have a little sticker Mario chasing around.
Yeah,
to symbolize their position. So it's really just ghost data. It's not actually like live one versus one or anything. But
that's fine.
I think it's interesting. I wonder what they're actually going to do with this kind of thing going forward. If it's a success, obviously they're going to pursue it more. We're going to start seeing more Nintendo games on mobile. I don't think I'm going to play it. I mean, maybe, but it's just interesting to see where they're going. This is a pretty big deal because people have been saying they need to do this for a while. I'm sure their investors have been telling them to hurry the hell up and get on mobile. So this should satisfy them for now. Maybe they can get back to making real games. No offense to anyone. But
well, I mean, this is a $1 million question for Nintendo. Is that how much is it worth it to do this instead of to do console games? Like, they have had success with Miitomo, even if it died off relatively quickly. They've had success with Pokemon Go, even if it wasn't their child. It was, Game Freak's child, but I'm sure they saw some of the money involved with that. They're getting active in the mobile space, and I feel like it's paying off for them, because every time they make a game, it's the buzz of the town for at least a while. And how many times do you have people excited for a phone app? It doesn't really happen. It's like, oh man, Angry Birds Star Wars is out. Let's play that. Like, it's not like people are waited with bated breath for a month or a year or something. Like, oh man, I gotta play a new Angry Birds game. It's gonna be so good. You know, it's gonna have a fifth bird.
Another bird? Yeah, how angry is he?
So they're not fighting pigs this time. Oh man, I can't wait for that one. But it's a
movie.
The very instant gratification market where it's just like whatever you want is right there.
Oh yeah, isn't there going to be a Nintendo movie soon-ish?
Not sure. They're doing shorts for Poochie and Yoshi.
Yeah, that's true, and they're gonna be on 3DS. Come on, there. Well, that's movies. No, I think there is going to be some kind of. There was talk about it. They haven't released it yet. They're very good at keeping that a secret. But
they're clearly not giving up on a 3DS because they just had their 3DS Direct and they have a whole bunch of 3DS games coming out. But I wonder at what point does Nintendo, have to make a decision where it's like, what do we spend more time on? Our console games, our handheld games, or our mobile games?
Yeah, that's what I'm scared about.
I feel like something's got to give in that situation. Not all three can be balanced perfectly.
I think that they said their goal was to use the mobile their mobile presence that they were going to. They talked about this a while ago. Their mobile presence with their games and their properties and stuff, putting it on mobile is just trying to like lure people into playing real games. And I think hopefully they maintain that vision. So
help their brand marketing.
Yeah, basically just bring people into playing the handheld at the time. So I think what they're going to do then is they're going to have the like stuff like Mario Run on the phones, and then they're going to, from their next handheld or console, or if they're the same thing, I don't know, there's weird theories going out, but I think that it's going to be in such a way that it's going to be more appealing to these kind of people, although it's not going to completely replace the console with phones. It's going to be just making some kind of like almost intermediate, maybe, just something that appeals to someone who primarily plays games on their phones, but have been playing these Pokemon games and these Mario games on their phone, and say, hey, I could probably get behind this. Playing this one would make me look like a loser or anything, and I had a lot of fun with the game on the mobile, so I should give it a go. So hopefully that's the limit to which they're going to go. If they ended up just pretty much putting all their energy in phone, I'm going to be kind of very disappointed, because I mean, you and I both know that the phone games are never going to really be like a console or a handheld game. They're always going to be very shallow. Yeah, that's it. You play it for a few minutes.
Waiting room, flight for like a minute, and then you move on to something more interesting.
Yeah. The unfortunate truth is it probably is more profitable because there's less time involved. Yeah, everyone's got a phone. It's really easy to pick up and play. It's not too hard to develop because they're really simple games by nature. So let's just hope it doesn't destroy what we know and love as core audience games that are extended experiences.
Well, Nintendo's heading in one direction with entering into mobile space and really still hammering home their use of the 3DS, the handheld gaming market. Meanwhile, Sony just had a huge unveiling of their own recently. They showed off their new model of the current PS4, which is just a bit slimmer, as people will call it. It's a redesign of the same old console. It's a little
seems
cheaper.
Smaller too, like itty bitty.
Yeah, but more importantly is that Sony has had something teased under a codename Neo for a while. No one really knew exactly what it was, but it's finally revealed the PlayStation 4 Pro, which will help usher in an era of 4K gaming, meaning resolutions that go up to, I believe it was somewhere around like 3,800 something by 1,900 something, almost 4K P, I guess you could call it, as people tend to call it 4K resolution. So it's fucking massive. It's like double the space of what a lot of people use in their 1080p's. It just looks ridiculous, allegedly. They kind of showed us like videos in the presentation, but we'll never really be able to see it with our displays here, it doesn't make sense. They're showing us 4K video on our 1080p monitors. But a big disclaimer though, it's not truly 4K. It's upscaling for 1440p to 4K. So yeah, so it's really what they're actually selling is the streamlined technology that allows them to do this in some, they'd say, like checkerboard fashion. But basically, it's just upscaling, which does look better than straight 440p, but it's not truly 4K. So and they admitted that, but they know that by selling it as a 4K gaming system, people are just who aren't in the know are gonna just be getting it for that. And it does look better than your 1080p game, so no doubt they're going to be getting away with this for a while. But it's not truly 4K. That's kind of hard to do on any system, even PC right now. Right. And I'm gonna have to take their word for it because it did look pretty smooth and it looked really nice, I suppose. But it's kind of like how the 3DS was like. You can assume that it kind of looks nice in 3D. You don't need glasses to see it. You couldn't really get a full idea of what the hell they're talking about until you actually have it. And so that's just going to be like another one of those things with the 3D that people experienced recently, where you just kind of have to test it first. But the problem with that is that you kind of need the equipment for this. You need a 4K compatible TV. There is a lot of emphasis on this for VR, so you're going to have to get a VR headset. It's just a lot of little things that are going to quickly add up. And the PS4 Pro is more expensive than a standard PS4, so that's also like, if you have a PS4 already, I guess you're out of luck. Go buy the more expensive console now. If you don't have a PS4 yet, then I guess this works out for you, but I don't know. I don't see myself ever being interested in this stuff. The high definition stuff. I like my display. I like it looking nice, but I'm not gonna like get a huge fucking TV. I'm not that guy that wants a huge TV
basically
and play in a living room.
For the people who are going to be looking at this, they have a normal TV. They have to buy the TV, 4K TV, which is probably going to be $1,000 or something like that. And they have to buy the new PS4 after selling theirs, maybe. So you're talking about over $1,000 investment to upgrade. If you already have the $4,000 or the 4K TV, you're just buying like increased texture resolution, which is what they said that the games that exist right now are going to have like a patch where they're going to be able to use higher res textures, which now this new hardware can use, and of course being able to use 4K. The high definition like color range or whatever is apparently going to be something that's possible on regular PS4 as well with like a firmware update. So that's not really a selling point for the Pro. So you basically have to have a TV that's capable of both of those features. Very expensive, and all you're getting is just a better looking game, slightly. Nothing else better. So I don't think it's really that worth it. And also, apparently, directly after this little event, the Xbox One S sales started increasing by a large amount on Amazon, I think. So I don't know if gamers were impressed in general.
Yeah, a lot of the things that the Xbox One S can happen already with what they're trying to give you with the PS4 Pro. However, PS4 Pro will be the most powerful console you can get once it launches, and they gave it a pretty soon for release date. It says November 10th, so that's coming like very very quickly, as opposed to, I guess the comparative thing would be the Xbox Scorpio, wherever the hell that was, they showed at E3. Which, who knows when that's coming. So, I mean, the Sony's got the leg up on the situation, I feel like, but I just don't know if this is worth it. I don't know. I don't see myself ever going for 4K stuff. It's not too
the only
expensive.
thing that like piqued my interest was the new model of the PS4 standard.
Yes.
I think I didn't really like the design of the other one, but the regular one, the new one, it looks, I don't know, it just looks better. It looks a little smaller. smaller and more form fitting. And I like console revisions that only just basically make the console more efficient and smaller. Those are pretty much my favorite ones. There's a good instance. What was that? The SNES. I mean, people probably hate this shit, but the original one, and then the next one that came out was this itty bitty little thing. And if ever you've seen the PlayStation 1 remake, it's so tiny. I don't know why I like this, but like the original PlayStation was pretty bulky. I played with it. It was a big square thing.
Yeah.
But you could buy this little itty bitty PlayStation. It's like a little square.
You like the
tiny.
slimmer versions?
Yeah, I don't know. I just like it. Yeah, the DS Lite was amazing. Like I didn't actually have the DS. I just knew of it, but when I got my hands on a DS Lite, it was really. I didn't even need to have the DS to appreciate how like efficient this design was. So yeah, I like those kind of things.
And the nice thing for people that own a PS4 already, like myself, is that I'm not being left in the dirt or left in dust by any means. My PS4 will still be able to do everything that the new model of the PS4 will be able to do. The slim model. The redesign. So that's nice. And I believe I've heard that HDR is coming to all PlayStation consoles. That's great. They even redesigned their PlayStation camera, their controller, and their headset. So that's cool.
Yeah, seems neat. Contrasting the design choice of Apple, where they took away their headphone jack. Although, admittedly, I've never used headphones for my phone, or never. I know I have not. I don't listen. The thing is, I don't like doing anything on my phone when I don't have to, because I know that I'm not going to be charging it for a while, and it will die. So, but for the people that actually like doing that, oh well, you are being left in the dust. Speaking of being left in the dust and forgotten, Interplace Studios is selling their assets. You may know them as the distributor of Earthworm Jim, the video game. Actually, I'm sorry, the developers of the game. I didn't actually play Earthworm Jim, but I know a lot of people liked his games. But one thing I did like was Clay Fighter. I played that when I was younger, and I thought it was a really fun and wacky game. And I was kind of excited because they planned to release Clay Fighter Remake on Steam this year, and probably other consoles too, this year. But now that they're selling all their assets, I don't know if that's fallen through, because this just kind of happened recently, and they haven't really been giving us much info on Clay Fighter this year, despite it needing to be released in the next 3 months. So I think my dream of having Clay Fighter tournaments at Video Shorts is not going to happen. That's really disappointing, actually. I was not expecting this.
Do the 64 one. I'd be into it.
Yeah. That's a lot of work, though.
Not really.
It would be so much easier if they're all on Steam. Everyone could just get it. I mean, it would probably be like $10. You could just distribute it to everyone and make your own tournament that way. I really hope it still comes out, but I don't think it's going to. Maybe if they sell the project to someone else and then it's released from them, I don't know. But, oh well. And speaking of fighting games tournaments on videoshorts.com, we just recently wrapped up Smeoush 5.
The fifth one.
The fifth one. And it was a pretty fun tournament. We had a lot of good contenders and a lot of good matches. It was really good to spectate some of these matches, especially the ones with little Bowser Jr. or which one did he play as? Morton. That was Initial K, right?
Yep, that's his name, yeah. The Initial K. And he was our grand champion.
Mm-hmm, not with the Bowser Jr. I think you topped it out with Cloud, but he did well. And everyone else did very well, too. We had a lot of good competition with our very own Nintendog and Bacon Basket. And, of course, Initial K got first, Nintendog got third, and Bacon Basket got third. And we distributed the prizes. Everyone got their grab at Steam Bucks or Pop-Up John Bucks. For anyone who's interested, the top two players got Steam Bucks, 50 and 30 respectively, or 20. No, it was 20.
50 and 20.
Yeah, 50 and 20 respectively. And then Bacon Basket opted for the pizza points. So I'm glad someone was thinking of Papa John's that night, as he's thinking of us as well.
Yeah, and we tend. Well, I'm sorry. I guess you treat our tournament players very well with prize stuff. You always do a good job of making that happen. You also did a wonderful job of providing and hosting the event. I think that we made some pretty good strides as far as holding our tournament events, because we, for the first time, decided to not stream every single match in the beginning rounds, which that plan didn't work out so great, since the first round of winners and the first round of losers was literally one match, so we had to stream that match anyway. But I think it set a good precedent for the future, where not everything has to be streamed. It would be nice to stream everything, but we used to have events that go on for literally 8 hours, and we start kind of late, so that doesn't really work out for everybody, because then everyone's just sitting around for 8 hours. And while I personally have a lot of fun every single time, some people would like to go to fuck to sleep, and some people have work on Sunday for some reason, and some people don't live in our time zone, so it's really inconvenient for them. So yeah. I think that is a good starting point, and something that is attractive to the entrants, the players of our tournament, because I'm sure we'll do another Smash thing in the future, but we're definitely going to end up doing a Street Fighter tournament eventually. And I know there's some specific players that either get cold feet or just don't enter at all, because they're like, oh, I don't want to be here, for 10 hours. And it's like, well, we have this precedent now. Where?
Yeah, we finished by 10 o'clock or something.
We finished in 3 hours.
Yeah, we were done. And we had delays, little hiccups here. I had to upgrade my internet midstream to get it. Not even midstream. It was 10% done with the stream. We had to upgrade the internet to make sure that we were at peak performance. But it ended up being good quality and solid connections, and no lag in matches by the end of it. So that was good. We had a really fun top 3, and it was fun. It definitely sets a precedent, and I hope that the Street Fighter V tournament turns out to be just as fun. I'm sure it will. We just gotta drum up some excitement for the game. Maybe stream it more and stuff like that.
Sure thing. That's going to be easy, since the final DLC character for Street Fighter V is coming out this month. Urien had a reveal trailer very recently.
Oh,
although everybody already knows what he's going to do, because he's been in story mode and everyone's hacked the PC version to play as Urien. But I digress. He has been officially teased and will be on his way this month, which is probably meaning the end of the month, but whatever. I actually, reading the comments for his reveal trailer was kind of funny, because a lot of comments were basically just talking about, why isn't he not naked? Why isn't he wearing a thong? Where's my naked Urien? That's what everyone wanted. Very interesting.
I mean, I think it already leaked that he's going to get.
He's got a battle costume, but they wanted him to become naked when he critical arts.
Oh, literally naked, penis and all?
No, not that. I think his Third Strike entrance, he comes in and he does that big pillar of energy thing, and he's wearing his white thong only when he comes out of it. I guess that's what people expect.
They want that transformation, is what they want. Not that he has it. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking activating his V trigger would do it. That would have been kind of cool. And then every costume has different undies underwear. I don't know. That would be kind of cool. Just different designs and stuff. That would have been a cool little touch, but they didn't do that. It's okay.
We'll have to look into things like that. I know some Frozen Mullet specifically is really banking on some kind of Pokken Life. I think we might be able to do a 4-person tournament if we do Pokken. I'd be into it. I'd like it.
I don't know.
Rudy wants King of Fighters, because that just came out recently. That'd be interesting. I watched a tournament of that pretty recently. It looked fun.
It does it? Because I don't like the way it looks, honestly. It looks too bland 3D model kind of thing. I don't know. It looks very flat. I don't know what else to say. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it. It just kind of looks like how can I say this? It looks like a less polished and desirable Street Fighter V for me. I don't know.
Looks like a PlayStation 2 game.
I mean, looks aren't everything, but I didn't like the way the game looked and played. So whatever. I'm not going to judge or anything, but I have no interest in it personally.
Not going to judge, but it looks like shit.
It's, I don't know what to say. It's just not my thing. I liked King of Fighters the way it looked with the 2D sprites. I played it a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
just a little bit. But I don't think I'm liking it in 3D as much as Street Fighter, turned out to be. I think it translated better for whatever reason. I think it's because Street Fighter, they went for a very stylized and exaggerated proportions and stuff like that. Whereas when you look at King of Fighters, they kind of look like characters, but now in 3D. So, although people criticize Street Fighter for looking ugly or something in some respects because of those big feet and hands, I think it just looks better as a video game because of those things that they do. Whereas whenever you go to King of Fighters, everyone just has set proportions and stuff, and it's just they're 3D models. If it were the sprites, though, I think that it looks better that way. I don't know what it is.
It's a stylized look of Street Fighter. That's nice. The feet and the hands are the things that are hitting you, and it's very clear that they're hitting you because they're larger. I like that.
Yeah, it's neat. But with that said, I guess we should go practice our Street Fighter because an imminent Street Fighter 5 tournament is coming up.
Imminent.
Probably October.
The scare month, as they call it.
Scary month.
Have to look into perhaps another scavenger event like we did last year.
Oh yeah.
Tease that.
What's up for grabs?
We'll have to see. Time will tell. But thank you, as always, for having me on the BuzzCast.
Of course, and anytime. In fact, every time. Bi-weekly. We'll see you guys next bi-week for the next episode of the Video Shorts BuzzCast. So until then, stay tuned on videoshorts.com.